could you do this to me? Are you leaving me for her? Honey, stop. You're misunderstanding the situation. I said get out of here.
How could you do this? She just lost her footing and fell hard. I think her ankle is injured.
Oh no, can you stand up?
Hello, dear viewers. In today's story, we follow a small but emotionally powerful incident in Huyen and Dae's family. It all begins with Mom Sam's kindness when she takes in Hana, a homeless girl in need of shelter. This act of compassion unexpectedly leads to misunderstandings and jealousy, putting Huyen and Dae's relationship to the test. Through sincerity and honesty, Dae stands up to protect his love, clearly explaining everything to Huyen and setting appropriate boundaries with Hana. In the end, the situation is resolved with understanding, respect, and peace, delivering a meaningful message about love, kindness, and responsibility. If you enjoy heartfelt, everyday stories that highlight family values, love, and compassion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next episodes. Your support is our greatest motivation to continue bringing you more touching and meaningful stories. Thank you for watching and for always being with us. Mom Sam did something deeply humane and compassionate when she decided to bring Hana, a homeless young woman with nowhere else to go, into her home. Hana arrived carrying nothing but a small, worn-out bag and a quiet sadness that clung to her like a shadow. Her clothes were simple, her movements cautious, as if she had learned from life that taking up too much space could be dangerous. Mom Sam saw not a stranger, but a soul in need of warmth, safety, and dignity. She offered Hana a place to stay, a meal, and a bed, believing that kindness, even when small, could change the course of a life. To her, it was simply the right thing to do, an act of empathy that came naturally from a heart accustomed to caring for others. However, the harmony of the house subtly shifted the moment Hana crossed the threshold. Huyen, who had already endured her share of emotional pain in the past, could not ignore the unease rising in her chest. She noticed the way Hana moved quietly around the house, how grateful and gentle she seemed, and how Mom Sam treated her with sincere concern. What troubled Huyen most, though, was seeing Hana in the same space as Dae, the man she loved with all her heart and had fought so hard to be happy with. Though nothing improper had happened, uncertainty has a way of magnifying the smallest details. A simple glance, a polite conversation, or Dae's instinctive kindness toward Hana slowly began to feel like sharp thorns in Huyen's thoughts. Huyen tried to reason with herself. She reminded her heart that Dae was a loyal man, that he had stood by her through difficult moments, and that Mom Sam's intentions were purely compassionate. Yet, emotions are rarely governed by logic alone. Old wounds, once reopened, tend to bleed quietly. Huyen had been hurt before, by misunderstandings, by circumstances beyond her control, and by the fear of being replaced or forgotten. Seeing another woman under the same roof stirred those buried insecurities, making her question things she would never have doubted otherwise. Jealousy did not arrive loudly, it crept in softly, disguised as worry, then slowly took shape as fear. The house, once filled with warmth and easy laughter, grew tense. Huyen became quieter, her smiles more forced, her eyes often clouded with unspoken thoughts. She watched from a distance, not because she distrusted Dae, but because she was afraid of what her heart might discover. Hana, unaware of the emotional storm her presence had caused, continued to behave humbly and respectfully, always keeping her distance. Yet that very distance, her silence and vulnerability, only complicated Huyen's feelings further. Sympathy and jealousy tangled together, creating a painful inner conflict Huyen did not know how to resolve. At night, when the house fell silent, Huyen lay awake, replaying moments over and over in her mind. She wondered whether kindness could unintentionally become a source of harm, and whether love, no matter how strong, could withstand the weight of misunderstanding. She wanted to believe in peace and harmony, in a life of simplicity and shared joy, but fear whispered cruel possibilities into her thoughts. Without meaning to, she began building emotional walls, distancing herself to protect a heart that had already endured too much. Thus, an act born from compassion quietly became the spark of tension within the household. Mom Sam's kindness remained sincere, Hana's presence remained innocent, yet Huyen's heart struggled beneath the surface. It was the fragile moment before truth and reassurance could emerge, a moment where love stood at the edge of misunderstanding, waiting for honesty to bring it back to safety. Sensing the growing tension in the house, Day knew he could no longer remain silent or hope that time alone would dissolve the misunderstanding. He saw it in Huyen's eyes, the hesitation when she spoke, the forced calm in her voice, and the subtle distance she placed between them. These were not signs of anger, but of a wounded heart trying to protect itself. Day understood that love, when left without clarity, could easily be overshadowed by doubt. And so, with quiet determination, he chose to confront the situation directly, not with defensiveness, but with honesty and care. One evening, when the house was calm and Mom Sam and Hana were resting, Day gently asked Huyen to sit with him. There was no urgency in his tone, only sincerity. He took her hands in his, grounding her trembling thoughts with the warmth of his touch. Day spoke slowly, choosing his words with intention, knowing that every sentence mattered. He told her that he could feel her pain, even when she tried to hide it, and that it hurt him to see her carrying fear alone. His voice did not rise, nor did it waver. It carried the steadiness of a man who knew where his heart belonged. Day reminded Huyen of the journey they had shared, of the hardships they had overcome together, and of the promises that had never been broken. He told her clearly that his love had never been divided, not even for a moment. To him, Huyen was not simply a part of his life, she was its center. The presence of Hana under their roof, he explained, was an act of compassion encouraged by Mom Sam, nothing more. It did not change his feelings, his loyalty, or his future. He looked into Huyen's eyes and said the words she needed most to hear, that he loved her and that he always would. As Day continued, he made a solemn promise. He assured Huyen that he would never allow anyone or anything to disrupt the peace they were building together. If Hana's presence caused discomfort or pain, he would address it responsibly and respectfully. Love in his eyes was not proven by silence, but by action. He wanted Huyen to feel safe, valued, and chosen every single day. These were not empty reassurances, but commitments rooted in his sense of responsibility as a partner and as a man. Huyen listened in silence, her emotions swelling with every word. The tension she had been holding inside her chest finally began to loosen. Tears streamed down her face, not from jealousy, but from release. She realized that her fears, though understandable, had grown louder in the absence of communication. Day's openness gave her the courage to confront her own insecurities. She confessed her fears honestly, her fear of losing him, of reliving past pain, and of being hurt again after finally finding happiness. Day did not interrupt. He listened, understanding that healing begins when someone feels truly heard. In that quiet moment, their bond strengthened. Day pulled Huyen into a gentle embrace, letting her cry freely against his shoulder. He did not rush her, nor did he dismiss her emotions. Instead, he reassured her through presence rather than words. The room felt lighter, as if the weight of misunderstanding had finally lifted. What remained was trust, fragile yet renewed. That night marked a turning point. The conversation did not erase the past, but it built a bridge over it. Day's honesty and devotion reaffirmed the foundation of their relationship. Love, once threatened by doubt, found its way back through sincerity and courage. And in that space of mutual understanding, Huyen began to believe again in harmony, peace, and the quiet happiness they both longed to protect. After speaking openly with Huyen and restoring the trust between them, Dee knew there was one final step he could not avoid. Kindness, he understood, must always be guided by responsibility. Late the next morning, when the house was calm and the sunlight filtered softly through the windows, Dee asked Hana if he could talk to her privately. His tone was gentle, free of blame or authority, because he did not see her as a problem to be removed, but as a person deserving honesty and respect. They sat across from each other at the small dining table. Hana kept her hands folded tightly in her lap, her posture modest and cautious, as though she already sensed the weight of the conversation. Dee began by acknowledging her situation. He told her he understood how difficult life must have been for her, living without stability, without a place to call home. He expressed appreciation for her respectful behavior and reassured her that Mom Sam's decision to help came from genuine compassion. His words were calm, sincere, and free of judgment, making it clear that she was not being rejected as a person. Then, with careful honesty, Dee explained the truth of the situation. He told Hana that while she was welcome as a guest for a short time, her presence had unintentionally caused emotional strain within the household. Love, he said, is fragile when misunderstood, and even innocent situations can create pain if boundaries are not clearly defined. He spoke openly about Huyen, about how deeply he loved her, how much she had already endured, and how protecting her peace was his highest priority. There was no hesitation in his voice when he said that his heart belonged to Huyen alone and always would. Hana listened quietly, her eyes slowly filling with tears. She did not interrupt or defend herself. In that moment, she understood that the problem was not cruelty, but timing and circumstance. She admitted that she never intended to cause conflict and that she too felt uncomfortable being a source of tension. Gratitude and sadness blended in her expression as she thanked Dee and Mom Sam for offering her safety when she needed it most. For the first time, she allowed herself to speak of her fear, the fear of being unwanted, of being a burden, of always having to leave. Dee responded with compassion. He reminded her that choosing to leave did not mean she was being abandoned. He promised to help her find alternative support, whether through temporary shelter, work opportunities, or community assistance. Kindness, he explained, does not always mean keeping someone close. Sometimes it means helping them stand on their own again. His words carried both firmness and care, making it clear that this decision came from responsibility, not rejection. After the conversation, Hana made her decision quietly and with dignity. She packed her few belongings with steady hands, pausing occasionally to take one last look around the house that had briefly been her refuge. Mom Sam embraced her with tears in her eyes, slipping a small amount of money and a handwritten note into her hand. There were no dramatic farewells, only heartfelt gratitude and unspoken understanding. As Hana stepped out of the house, the air inside seemed to shift. The tension that had once lingered like a shadow finally dissolved. Dee watched until she disappeared down the path, carrying not just her belongings, but the strength to begin again. When he returned inside, Huyen stood waiting. Their eyes met, and in that silent exchange, everything was understood. The house returned to its gentle rhythm. Love remained intact, strengthened by honesty and boundaries. Compassion had not been lost, it had simply found its proper place. In choosing clarity over silence, Dee protected both Huyen's heart and Hana's dignity. And within that balance, peace finally settled, allowing everyone to move forward with grace, respect, and hope.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Live Single RV. Vậy là câu chuyện của chúng ta ngày hôm nay đã kết thúc tại đây. Trong câu chuyện của chúng ta ngày hôm nay đã kể về nội dung đó chính là việc bà Sam, mẹ của Đệ, đã cưu mang giúp đỡ và đưa Hana về nhà của Huyền và Đệ để cô ở nhờ tạm một thời gian. Nhưng bà không hề lường trước được tình huống đó chính là việc Hana xuất hiện ở trong nhà Huyền và Đệ sẽ nảy ra mâu thuẫn giữa Huyền và Đệ. Huyền sẽ cảm thấy ghen tuông khi có sự xuất hiện của Hala trong nhà của mình, và sự quan tâm của Đệ dành cho Hala khiến cho Huyền cảm thấy rất là ghen tuông. Vậy khi có sự xuất hiện của Hana thì bà Sam và Đệ sẽ cư xử như thế nào? Liệu rằng hai người còn đưa Hana về hay không? Và Huyền có chấp nhận cho Hana ở nhờ nhà mình một thời gian hay không? Tất cả sẽ còn được kể ở các câu chuyện tiếp theo. Các bạn đừng quên bấm vào nút subscribe để đăng ký kênh để đón nhận được câu chuyện tiếp theo sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Live Single RV nhé. Nếu các bạn thấy video hôm nay hay, hấp dẫn, mới lạ, hãy cho mình xin một cái nút like, share và để lại bình luận góp ý ở dưới video nhé. Huyền ND, thank you so much. Huyền ND want to say goodbye and see you soon tomorrow everyone. Bye bye.